right in the kisser.
Hey, how the devil are you? It's... And on a Friday, I like to partake in a little tipple. And today's choice of tipple is Hobgoblin Gold Beer. I think it's brewed by Carlsberg. So I've never tried it before. 4.2% volume alcohol. Let's have a little swig of this. Don't judge my pouring skills, okay? There you go. Nice amber colour. Check that out. Cheers down the hatch. Gold beer, it says on the front there. Again, right, I must be getting like an alcoholic or something because there's not a drink I don't like. Very nice. Anyway, on with the video. In this video, I want to talk about streaming amplifiers. Streaming amplifiers specifically, okay? Not streamers, streaming amplifiers. And, you know, there's quite a few out there now, isn't there? It's getting quite a big thing. And if you look at the lower range, you're looking at the Amp Ultra, EVERSOLO Play, or EVERSOLO Play CD Edition. I had the EVERSOLO Play CD Edition here a few months ago. Really, I thought I was a great little streamer. However, you do have to be careful with speaker matching. The Amp Ultra is a bit more powerful, had a bit more power in it. But for the price, what you're getting, you're getting a lot for your money. Then you've got the more expensive stuff then. You've got Cambridge Audio EVO 150. I actually auditioned that, and I auditioned it against the League Stereo 230. And I thought the EVO 150 was very good, very dynamic. And I auditioned it against the League Stereo 230. Oh, it was very hard to choose. I thought they both sounded great. And I think the only reason I swayed towards the League Stereo 230, which I have here now, is because of its sort of vintage vibe. Okay, I did like the look of it. And sound-wise, it was difficult. They both sounded great. I think the Evo though was a little bit more expensive. Came in about six to £800 more than the League Stereo 230. And then you got the name Unity Atom, very good streamer, but not cheap. I think that's about £3,000. And the thing is though, with these streaming amplifiers, you get everything all in one. You don't really need anything else. You know, you got some of them have a built-in CD player. They got a built-in DAC. You have an amplifier. It streams for you. So you don't need anything else. You just pop the amp in, some speakers, and you're off. They got room correction, so it does the room correction for you. Also as well, what are we going to see going forward? Probably they're going to incorporate a lot more AI to do things automatically. Amps that learn your listening habits, tweak your EQ automatically, adjust the sound of your room accordingly. So if you move the amp to another room, it'll scan the room, okay? And it'll adjust it to that room without you having to do anything. And what about Dolby Atmos, spatial audio, cinema surround? These streaming amps are evolving into mini surround processors. And what can you expect? You can have virtual Atmos without ceiling speakers, smarter DSP that simulates height channels, wireless rear or height channels that don't require running cables through your walls or under carpets, because I hate that. Tripping over them all the time. And with faster Wi-Fi standards like Wi-Fi 7, we're heading towards rock solid wireless high res, 24192, easy peasy. Multi-channel streaming also on the way. We're very close to wireless with zero compromise being an actual thing, not just marketing. Awesome, right? Right, you are. Come on, take my money. Let's all go out and buy a streaming amp. Oh, hold your horses there. Whoa. There are some caveats, aren't there? And I know some of you were screaming at the screen, what about this? What about that? Well, let's address some of the issues. So if you go back to the 1970s, 1980s, amplifiers were built like tanks. They were incredible. Look at the Pioneer SX 1980. People say that's one of the GOATs. Okay, look at the Sansui AU 20,000. Or even the Marantz 2270. What an amp that was. Flipping brilliant. And you can still buy them today. Okay, they might be a bit expensive and they've had a lot of servicing. Few caps changed here, whatever, resistors and all stuff like that. But they're still going strong. You can still buy them today. I think I've seen a Pioneer SX 1980 going for about £6,000. Oh, flipping heck. Beautiful looking thing though. And they were stunning looking amps. Now, can you say the same thing for streaming amps in 40 years time? Some of these amps are 40 to 50 years old, these 1970s amps, okay? Jesus Christ, mate. How can I help? Oh, sorry. You wouldn't by any chance have a flux capacitor, would you? I've been looking for one everywhere. A flux capacitor? Mate, you won't get them anymore. We don't stock them here. And I don't know where you'll be able to find one. Oh, Marty will be fuming. Oh well. Great Scott. Will these streaming amplifiers still be around? You know, they've got a lot of people. I know some of my subscribers who bought an amp in the 1970s and they still have it today. Will that be the same for these streaming amplifiers? I don't think so. I mean, first of all, you've got to think of is, will they still be supported? Will that operating system still be supported? For most of us, I know there's outliers to this rule, but my phone from 10 years ago, where is it? I've no idea. It's probably in a bin somewhere. Perhaps it's in one of my drawers. I've no idea. I don't use it anymore. And if you go back a little bit further to older phones, maybe 15, 20 years ago, they're completely defunct. Okay, they're no longer supported. The operating system's completely out of date. So you've got that issue. Another thing is that how hard are they to work on? So if you've got a 1970s, 1980s amplifier, you can, pick up capacitors, you can pick up inductors and resistors quite easily, I'd say. You can mostly find parts online somewhere. But when it comes to streaming amps, will you be able to place that DSP chip in 20 years time? Will you be able to go on eBay and find a streaming board for that streaming amp? Will you be able to replace that sealed power supply? I think manufacturers of these amps are aware of these issues and they know that the consumers or the customers are thinking this. And I do believe that they are trying to work on it. Perhaps in the future we may see where you can just push it like that and the whole board will come out, you can put in a new one. Perhaps keep the analog and the digital section separate. So the analog section will keep going forever, but the digital section may, lose its support. So you can just go, I'll just go and order another module from Cambridge Audio. There we are. Get another module, push it like that, slide it out, pop the other one in. Hopefully that's the solution. How long will they last? Being conservative, with firmware updates and software updates, 15 to 20 years potentially. But like I said, hopefully manufacturers are looking into this because we don't want to spend thousands of pounds on an amplifier only within 15 years for it to be completely outdated and useless. So hopefully manufacturers are looking into this. But on a positive note, we could be looking at streaming amplifiers that will act like a smart speaker. So your streaming amplifier will do everything. You can ask it to turn your lights on, turn your heating on, You know what I mean? It could all be on the app and everything. Everything's all in one in a complete amplifier hub. So you haven't got to have a smart speaker. You haven't got to have, it's all done in the amplifier. That is pretty cool looking to the future, but I do worry about the longevity of the device. Anyway, what do you think? Because I think that, you know, potentially it would be, this is me being old school though, okay? I think potentially I'd like to have an analog amp, just an amp, okay? Maybe with a digital section a little bit, you know, for optical and coaxial, stuff like that, arc. But I potentially would like to use a separate streamer and connect it to that amp. Do you know what I mean? Rather than have it all built in. Because it's a lot cheaper to replace just that streamer than the whole device. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments section. And I'll catch you in the next one.